Hey everybody, my name's Paige. I'm one of the nurse practitioner fellows with North Mississippi Medical Center. And I know a lot of us in this group are fellows, but some of us may have heard that term and just wondered what is that. So I just wanted to introduce myself because I feel I can listen and relate better if I kind of know who's talking to me. So the nurse practitioner fellows are recently graduated nurse practitioners who are in a training program through the hospital, and we kind of rotate through different specialties to get basically priceless experience that'll help us in our own practice when we go out. So a little personal note, both of my grandfathers had type 2 diabetes and my mother also has type 2 diabetes. So I'm going to be in this program for the year with the participants. So it kind of holds a special meaning to me, and I hope I get a lot out of it, and I hope y'all do too. So that's just kind of a little introduction about who I am. So the objectives for today are we're going to check in and see how last week went for y'all. Then we're going to talk about the purpose of tracking. That's what today's activity is called, is track your activity. Then we're going to talk about how do you do that, some action planning on how to do that, and some ways to cope with any issues that may come up with tracking your activity. So first off, let's just check in. How is everybody doing? And I cannot see the chat box, so if you want to feel free to unmute yourself to answer any questions, you are more than welcome. This is an open discussion class. So did everybody try to increase their activity levels this past week? Okay. Does anybody want to share anything that went particularly well for them this past week? Okay. Anybody want to share any challenges?
I walked around the building. I took my kids outside and walked around the building this past week.
Very good. Thank you for sharing that. Did your kids enjoy it too?
Yes, ma'am. It was refreshing for them to be able to get out of class.
I bet. Very good. Very good. Anybody else want to share anything?
Okay. Well, I'll share that we've had some pretty neat weather. So yesterday, between the storms, it was fairly warm, and today was a really, really great day. So, you know, if anybody got a chance to be out today, it felt like a spring day today, and that's a gift in the middle of January, or at the end of January, to have a day that feels like spring.
I agree. Thank you for pointing that out. That's a good opportunity to take advantage of getting out and getting active. Did anybody have challenges this week? Some goals maybe they had set that they didn't quite meet, or they had to work extra hard to meet? And if not, that's okay. We'll continue going on. So why do we track things? So you track many things in your life. What are some of the things that you track? And it's kind of already got the answers up there on the screen for you. You track your checking account. You keep track of the amount of food in your fridge. You keep track of the amount of gas in your car, the laundry in your hampers, the amount of medicines in your bottles. You keep track of your blood pressure, possibly your blood sugar. But why? Why do we keep track of that stuff? Does anybody want to attempt to answer that?
It's just a good way to know where you are and what you can do to, I guess, just if you need more, to go ahead and get more, or if you're good where you're at.
Right, exactly. It kind of helps you take the needed actions to meet your goals. Like you check your blood pressure to make sure it doesn't get too high. Check your banking account balance to make sure your check's not going to bounce. You just kind of want to keep track of where you are and where you're going. So what do you think is the purpose of weighing yourself at the start of each session or each week? It helps you work toward your 6-month weight goal. And so what's the purpose going to be of tracking your activity? That's going to help you work towards your 6-month goal of getting at least 150 minutes of activity a week. And that's the goal for everybody, regardless. Unless you're a child, they want you to be a little more active. But for adults, they want you to get at least 150 minutes of activity each week. So that comes down to about 30 minutes, 5 days a week. You can break that up any way you want to, but they do want it to be at least a moderate pace. So how do we track our physical activity? There are 2 steps to it. You want to time your activity, and then you want to record somehow how long you were active for. So remember, again, we're tracking moderate to vigorous physical activity. And just a reminder, moderate means you can walk and talk through it, but you can't sing through it. And I said that a little wrong, so I'm going to repeat it. You can talk through it, but you can't sing through it. And you can include everyday activities like sweeping your floors, if you mow your yard with a push mower, if you're vacuuming, dusting. A lot of times once you get into doing those activities, you are kind of moderately exercising. So don't forget to count those kind of things in your activity each week. So some ways to time your activity, you can use a watch, your clock. You can set a timer. A lot of people now use fitness trackers. That's what I put this image in here for, because I thought a lot of people could relate to that, but not everybody likes technology. It took me a long time to come around. A lot of people can use a smartphone. A lot of them come with built-in health apps that can help you keep track of it. And there's computer apps also. Does anybody have any questions about any of this? Okay. And so now we're going to talk about logging it. And so this is the fitness log, and it's just a paper like this, and it is included in the handouts on the website. So I would suggest printing that off every week or downloading it to your computer. It'd be easier to print it off where you can just jot it down. And we are going to ask you if you will fill this out weekly and kind of let us know each week what you're doing. So we're going to go over that. There are other ways you can track besides this sheet. You can log it down in just a notebook. Some people are very tech savvy. They want to create an Excel spreadsheet and go in and log it in their computer so they can kind of track it better. Some people just do it all on those fitness trackers like we're in the other slide. Some people do it in the smartphone apps, computer apps. Some people just kind of make a recording on their phone. Hey, I walked for 45 minutes today, and just to kind of remind them. But it'll kind of keep it easy and in one place if you'll log it all on this sheet that they're showing right here, the fitness log.
So Paige, can you mention that? So the fitness log is great, especially for in-person classes. But if we're not in person, what we can do is email your total minutes of activity to us. Every week prior to the session. It'd be helpful to email that along with your weight, prior to the next session. That way the sheet's good to track it so you can see it. Some people have used apps like Fitbit or Apple Watch and just jot down the total time. So starting now, we ask you to start submitting minutes, exercise.
Right. Very good point. Thank you. Yeah, it is a little different doing all this online. All righty. So what we're going to start with is, like you said, we'll start this today. So that brings us back to our action plan, which we will do each week throughout this program. So this is just an example of the action plan and what you need to include in it. And I just want to remind you, as you make your plan, remember to keep it realistic, to keep it doable. specific and flexible. So try to do just a little more than you did last week. I know last week we were just kind of trying to start being active or being mindful of how active we already were, or think of ways we would enjoy being active. So remember to focus on behaviors, because that's how we're going to be successful. We're trying to change our behaviors and not just do something temporarily or as a fad, but we're trying to change our health through changing our behaviors, and mainly just try to have fun. So whenever we get off of this call tonight, I'd say go ahead and start working on your action plan. That way you have something every day when you want to make that excuse, you can look at that action plan and say, oh, nope, this is what I got to do, and this is how I'm going to do it. And I would suggest making yours this week revolve around tracking your activity. That'd just be an easy way to do that. So if you look at that activity log again, or just think of it in your head, remember to track activity of at least a moderate pace. Anything you can talk through but not sing through. And there may be some days when you write down 0 minutes, and that's okay. The thing is, just be sure you try to track every day for the rest of this program, and then just send that to us each week. Does anybody have any questions or think they're going to have any issues with tracking their activity?
Paige, can you go through maybe some challenges or barriers that you could anticipate with tracking
Got that
activity
coming up next.
increasing? Yeah, and kind of troubleshooting, seeing what kind of solutions can be, what kind of solutions can be developed by the group for some challenges that you anticipate, both with tracking the activity but also doing the activities.
Right. Okay. So that's the next thing we were going to talk about is how to cope with the challenges. So first off, let's think of some challenges we might have. So I purposely did not put these answers on the slide because I want to hear from y'all, because I know what challenges I have, but everybody has their own. So if somebody wants to speak up and tell me what challenges you think you'll face in tracking your activity.
I was just thinking about when I was track my food log for a few days. I know it was challenging if I waited to do it at the end of the week versus doing it like when the actual activity occurred. So that just may be a little maybe something that could help if you do it when you actually do complete the activity instead of compiling it all at the end of the week.
Right, very good tip. And like Dr. Rafer said, that may be a benefit to us being digital is a lot of people have just a little notes app in their phone. You can just go in there and every day just put it in there if you don't have a fitness app or something, or just keep a little sticky pad in your car or purse and you can just write it on there. That way it's always with you and it doesn't build up till the end of the week and you're sitting there thinking, now I know I did something Tuesday. What did I do Tuesday? So yeah, just keep track as you go. That's a good tip. Anything else?
Paige, I would say one thing that I've had to do because I'm horrible with memory is I literally have to make myself an alarm on my phone to like right before I go to bed after my kids have already went down to write down what I've eaten and what activity I did each day.
Very good. Yes, thank you.
If I don't set that alarm, I will forget.
Yeah, I kind of have to do that too sometimes as an accountability factor, because if I have the alarm telling me, then I can't just make myself forget or excuse it away as I'm too tired. I've got something kind of telling me, you got to do this, you got to do this. Plus, like you said, it reminds you. Very good. All right, there's more. Come on.
One topic I think is a big deal that I've noticed, especially I had done some traveling a few weeks ago, was getting any activity in while I was out of town. That was a challenge for me because we were sitting in the car for 7 hours and then we were doing activities and stuff. So basically 4 days, I got very limited activity.
Right. And that's something too, you bringing that up. A lot of people face at work. A lot of us have desk jobs or we're stuck in a classroom all day. So something that I try to be mindful of is every 30 minutes, get up and at least walk down the hallway or make an excuse to go to the copy machine on the other side of the building or use the bathroom in the other building. Try to make yourself walk a little farther during your day when you have to get up and move around, just to kind of break up those periods of sitting.
Hey, Paige, I got a question.
Sure.
We go to school every day, but the students are not moving and the teachers are moving. So I'm constantly walking, but I forget to log sometimes. Like we walk everywhere. Like we might be on this hall 1 minute, we might be on the next hall the next. So it gets hard sometimes because I have so much going on.
Do you well, I've got two things running through my mind, and I don't want to just kind of tell you how to do it because I know everybody's different. But if you do you wear a smartwatch or can you have your phone on you?
Yes, ma'am. I have my phone on me at all times, but I don't have a smartwatch though.
Okay. Do you have I know I have Samsung. I'm an Android person, and it comes with the Samsung Health app on it. And once I turn that on, it kind of tracks when I walk, and it can tell me at the end of the day how active I've been. And I'm sure Apple, they always have, they're ahead of us on this stuff.
I was just going to say it's probably on Apple. I would have to play around with it a little bit.
Yeah, look at your apps, and there's probably some in the App Store where it will automatically pick it up for you. And that can help you. Other thing I was thinking is, do you have to wear a badge or a lanyard or anything?
We have badges, and I do have a lanyard that I do wear from time to time.
Okay. They make little notepads that come on a ring with a pin on them, and you could attach that on your lanyard. So when you're walking, you could just stop and say 15 minutes or 10 minutes and just kind of mark it down. And then at the end of the day, you can add up your minutes.
Okay, then. Okay.
Hey, Paige, another suggestion I have for him is like, I know the hallways are really long, like where my kids go to school. If you kind of knew estimate, like early morning, you walk that hall and just got an estimate of steps. At the end of the day, you might be like, okay, I walked that hall, I know twice today, and that back hall, I know at least 4 times a day, and just kind of do a quick reference like that would be a possible option.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a good idea. But remember, we're also tracking time. Distance is good, but we want to make sure we're getting those minutes in. So that's why it might be good to kind of keep track of the time doing it. Some other, and it does list some examples in the participation guide, which are in the handouts. I think they post those once the recording is stopped and they share the video to the web page, but it says how to cope with challenges, and it's got a page that looks like this in there. So y'all can have access to everything we're going over tonight. It's not like you have to memorize this. It says some people may just be too busy. So you just want to kind of make it a habit, and that may be your action plan this week is I want to make time to track. I'm going to either sit down after work every day and do this, or before bed, I'm going to sit down and clear out my phone and see how long did I do. And just remember why you're tracking. Why are we doing this? Because we want to improve our health. We want to reduce our risk of getting diabetes or control our diabetes, whatever situation we're in. Some people may have trouble reading and writing. Like if, you're doing it, or if you're trying to help a grandparent, they may not be on this technology. So you want to help them find ways. Reach out to us. We're here. I think the number is on the web page, and you can help them do maybe the voice recordings, if they could make a recording, or if it's like your grandfather, call me every night. Hey, did you walk today? Or what activity did you do today? How long? Another issue is that people keep forgetting. So like Ashley said, setting an alarm will help you remember that. Leave yourself notes. If you are going to work that morning, leave yourself a note on your dashboard where you'll see it. Walk 30 minutes after work. That way when you get in your car, you're like, oh, I didn't walk today. I got to go walk 30 minutes, or 15 minutes before school, 15 minutes after school or work or whatever. Ask friends and family to remind you. It's great you got your class involved this week, Alaric, and got them out there, because they may start putting pressure on you, like, yo, when are we going to go walking again? You know, I like that. So they'll kind of help hold you accountable and help remind you. And some people just don't like to track. It's just, they think it's tedious and they don't want to do it. So if you want to make a chart or a graph where you can show your progress, that might encourage you and inspire you to track better. Do a competition with a friend. A lot of times that will hold you accountable and it makes it fun. And I'm one of those, I need a challenge. I need to feel like I'm doing something to be successful. So that may help you meet that. And give yourself rewards, non-food rewards. If you met your activity goal all month, maybe you need a massage, you know, or something like that. So that nothing's wrong with that. Does anybody have anything else they want to add about coping with challenges? So just and you can do it on your own. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say something.
Yes, this is Dr. Rayford again. So, you know, one thing that may help when it comes to tracking is to proactively track. What that means is, you know, if say you have a calendar, and on the calendar, you know, you commit to a certain amount, and what you do is you already have the amount on the calendar. So if you want to exercise 30 minutes a day during the week, put 30 on each day, Monday through Friday. Every day you see the calendar, and then when you do it, cross out the number. So at the end of the week, when you have 5 X's, you've done 150 minutes. And that allows you to, you know, not necessarily have to deal with numbers and rounding. You know that you've done it for the 30 minutes at a time, and that can allow you to get started. So you can kind of look at the week, and then set some days, and you can, you know, just mark it off. And that way you're not tracking after the fact. What you're doing is you're just acknowledging that you did. It's almost like putting a little check box. And if you put a check in the check box, that means you accomplished your goal. Or you can shade. You can try different levels of shading. You know, you can kind of have like an hourglass, and if the whole hourglass is shaded, you did it all. If half of it is shaded, you just did half. And that's another way to visually do it. Sometimes the numbers can be a little daunting.
Great advice. Thank you. Does anybody have anything else they want to add? Okay. So just in summary, today we talked about the purpose of tracking. Remember why we're doing this, and then how to track. So does anybody have any questions about either one of those things or anything else we've talked about today? All right, well, that's all we have for today. I did have this just kind of as a reminder of ways to time it, and then there's multiple ways to record it, and of course there's more than on here. But that's it for today. So next time we'll talk about things we tried this week, including your action plan, how it went, and then also next week we're going to kind of start talking about the eating portion of this, and the next week's topic is eating well to prevent T2. So.
Awesome. So just another reminder of emailing us your weights and your physical activity minutes. So if you can do that for what you can do is do that for the session. If you can just put the if you put a date on it, we'll match it with the session. But if you can email us at diabetesprevention@nmhs.net, and again, it's confidential. We don't share those online. So don't worry about, for those who are participating in the year-long program, sending us the weights and the activity levels.
Well, thank you all for your participation. I enjoyed the discussion. So that was great. And like he said, he gave y'all the email address. And if y'all have any questions or need anything, just include that with your weight and fitness. And y'all have a good week. We'll see y'all next Tuesday, okay?